He killed a giant. He conquered nations. He united a kingdom. But one decision, one night, nearly destroyed everything. This is the story of David, the shepherd who became king, the warrior who became broken, the man after God's own heart. Israel's first king was dead. The battlefield of Gilboa was silent. Smoke still rising into a darkening sky. A crown lay in the dust, abandoned. The throne of Israel stood empty. When the news reached David, he did not celebrate. He did not rejoice. He wept. How the mighty have fallen. The man he once served, the friend he loved, Jonathan, gone. Before he ever wore the crown, David wore grief. In Hebron, the tribe of Judah came forward. Oil flowed down his hair. "Lead us," they said. And at 30 years old, the shepherd became king. But Israel was still divided. For 7 years, the kingdom was torn in two, brother against brother, sword against shield, yet slowly, steadily. David grew stronger, not by ambition, but by patience. Then finally, the elders of Israel came. The Lord said, "You shall shepherd his people." And David was crowned king over all Israel. Triumphant music rises, a united kingdom, a new beginning. Jerusalem stood unconquered for generations. "It cannot be taken," they said. But David believed differently. With courage and strategy, the city fell, and Jerusalem became the city of David, a capital, a symbol, a legacy. But David was not just a warrior, he was a worshiper. As the Ark of the Covenant entered the city, the king danced before the Lord with all his might, not caring who watched, not caring how he looked, because for David, God came before glory, one night, from a palace rooftop. David saw what was not his, slow pause, and instead of turning away, he called for it. That moment changed everything. The prophet Nathan stood before the king, calm voice. There were two men in a city. The parable unfolds. Then, you are the man, the warrior who defeated giants, now defeated by his own heart. Broken whisper, I have sinned against the Lord. Sin has consequences. David's own son, Absalom, rose against him. The king fled barefoot from his own city. The crown felt heavy. The palace felt distant. The man who once ruled armies now wept in exile. Yet, even in failure, God's promise stood. Your throne shall be established forever. Not because David was perfect, but because God is faithful. In his final days, David prepared the way for the temple. He called his son Solomon, "Be strong and build the house of the Lord," after 40 years. The warrior king rested, sunrise over Jerusalem. David was not remembered for perfection. He was remembered for repentance. He fell, he rose, and through his line came a greater king. This was the rise and the fall of David. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that even kings fall, but God restores, then subscribe to Bible Chronicles, because the next story might change your life.